This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. Oil prices jumped more than $3 on Monday, with Brent crude climbing above $111 a barrel, as European Union nations considered joining the United States in a Russian oil embargo and after a weekend attack on Saudi oil facilities. Brent crude futures were up $3.40, or 3.2%, at $111.33 a barrel by 0958 GMT, adding to a 1.2% rise last Friday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude CLC1 futures rose $3.65, or 3.5%, to $108.35, extending a 1.7% jump last Friday. Prices moved higher ahead of talks this week between European Union governments and U.S. President Joe Biden in a series of summits that aim to harden the West's response to Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine.
Saudi Arabia regained the spot as China's top crude supplier in the first 2 months of 2022, having been leapfrogged by Russia in December, while Russian shipments dropped 9% as a cut in import quotas led independent refiners to scale back purchases. Arrivals of Saudi crude totaled 14.61 million tons in January to February, equivalent to 1.81 million barrels per day, BPD, down from 1.86 million barrels of oil per day a year earlier, data from the General Administration of Customs showed on Sunday. Imports from Russia totaled 12.67 million tons in the 2 months, or 1.57 million barrels of oil per day. That compares to 1.72 million barrels of oil per day in the corresponding 2021 period.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
China's clean marine fuel exports rose 21% in the first 2 months of 2022 from a year ago, following an increase in Beijing's export quotas, customs data showed on Sunday. Exports of low-sulphur fuel oil reached 3.64 million tons in January and February, up from 3.02 million tons in the corresponding period last year, data from the General Administration of Customs showed. China granted allowances of 6.5 million tons for exports of the clean bunker fuel to 5 refiners in its first 2022 allotment, up 30% from the first batch for 2021.
India's oil imports from the United States will rise by 11% this year, officials said on Saturday, as the severely energy-deficient country looks to secure supplies from producers around the world, including heavily sanctioned Russia. The surge in oil prices following Russia's invasion of Ukraine last month threatens to fan Indian inflation, stretch public finances and hurt growth just when it was emerging from a pandemic-induced slowdown. New Delhi faces criticism from the West for its long-standing political and security ties with Moscow, with some saying that engaging in business with Russia will help fund its war. India has urged an end to the violence in Ukraine but abstained from voting against Russia.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
The London Metal Exchange's LME 3-month nickel contract hit its lower trading limit of 15% on Monday as traders sold on expectations of falling prices for the metal used to make stainless steel and electric vehicle batteries. The 15% limit within which nickel can trade from Friday's closing price of $36,915 a ton is wider than the previous day's 12%, and at the same level as that for other metals such as copper, aluminium, zinc and lead. The contract has hit limit down for the 4th day running. A trader speaking on condition of anonymity said the situation was still frustrating, given the high number of sell offers and lack of matching bids.
Gold prices edged up on Monday as fighting in Ukraine buoyed demand for the safe haven asset, although strength in U.S. bond yields restricted bullion's gains. Spot gold was up 0.14% to $1,923.83 per ounce by 12:27 GMT. U.S. gold futures eased 0.2% to $1,925.20. We are treading water. The risk is more to the downside than to the upside at the moment. We will have to wait and see, said Michael Hewson, chief market analyst at CMC Markets UK. However, Hewson added, there is support for gold prices around last week's lows of near $1,890, which could help gold move towards $1,940 to $1,950. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Russia is exporting more wheat via its Black Sea ports as Azov Sea routes remain restricted, analysts said on Monday, while domestic prices for the grain rose last week because of the weakening ruble. Exports are active. If the weather permits, it is currently unstable in the Black Sea due to strong wind. Russia will export more than 2 million tons of wheat in March, said Dmitry Rilko, the head of the IKAR agriculture consultancy. IKAR said prices for wheat with 12.5% protein content from the Black Sea ports were at $390 per ton free on board, FOB. Although Rilko said there were few new deals in recent days.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.